everyone. I hope traders and investors alike finished green last week. Well, we do have a lot happening this week. This is the start of earnings. We'll see some stuff on Thursday, but that's really kind of left over. So earnings officially start off on Friday. We're going to start with seeing some banks. We do have a ton of Fed speakers. We're not going to go over all of them. It has been posted in the Discord. There is a ton of Fed speakers this week. We also have some data. Not a lot on Monday and Tuesday, but on Wednesday we have CPI, Thursday PPI, and Friday we have consumer sentiment. So there is a lot going on there, especially with earnings starting. So we're going to start seeing a lot of momentum into the market. Hopefully we can get some of those traders return. We know there's been a lot of traders out on vacation. Volume's been a little low. We do realize that volume does lighten up this time of year overall, but we're hoping to see a little more come back into the market to give us a little better price action structure. That's definitely been tradable, but it's had to look at it a little bit differently. And that's just, being adaptive to the market allows you to continue to make money in the markets every day. We did add some charts, and there's a lot to look at, a lot of bearishness popping up. So we did have to add a few charts here. So we need to get moving into some price action. You can see the SPX weekly with a closed last week with a bearish around me. That is a bearish signal. This all depends on next week's candle, which opens up tomorrow. We need to see where this candle opens up. Will it confirm? Will it open up? Especially if it be like a breakaway gap or something like that and open up way down here, we would be in trouble. That heavy sell at the end of the day on Friday. So, but if we get a candle to open up around this candle line and work its way down below this candle, that's when we're going to start to worry about confirming that weekly bearish around me there. Breath chart, we did have strong breath on Friday, held in well on that very ugly shooting star candle. So this is TNX. This follows. All right, so this actually follows the 30-year bonds, and it's telling us that interest rates are spiking there. So just something to keep an eye out. With the bond market getting murdered, that's pushing interest rates higher. A U.S. dollar moving lower. VIX, we did gap up out of this Bollinger Band, which, that can get a little scary. We did get a big down candle on Friday to close back inside the Bollinger Bands. Usually when you get back into the Bollinger Bands, it's kind of risk off. You can see where the buyers, were able to even come back in and try to push the candle back up here. But, we did close back into the Bollinger Bands. But that candle, we'll talk more about the SPY when we get there. Crude, you can see the little W pattern here with the higher low. Crude breaking out of a W, trying to push higher. Keep energy names on the radar. Apple sitting on your daily 9. See if we can hold this daily 9 and get a push off of that tomorrow. Just worth keeping an eye on. May gap down. You can see Apple here did not take out the low of the day, but did have a sharp move down. Some of our indices did take out the low of the day, and we'll look at that in a few minutes. Gold with a strong day on Friday as the markets were selling off. You can see we did close back above the 9. Kind of interesting there. This has been bleeding lower. It's not really been interested in trading gold. Just not a lot of momentum there. SPX. This is our advanced decline lines for the New York Stock Exchange. The SPX is right here. You can see we did come back down. The SPX was able to hold the 9. The New York Stock Exchange dipped below it and reclaimed the 9 on Friday's action. You can see everybody turn back up. Mid caps actually holding the 9 as well. Small caps are under the 9 there. But you can see the SPX held the 9. So looks good. Would like to have seen it turn up, but we'll see. We do know that we did not get a lot of participation in our tech names on Friday. AMC did spike up here, fill this little gap. So we got a gap fill here. So we're looking to get this gap to move into this and see if we can move higher. Gaps act as resistance on the other side of the window. So when the gap's filled, that also acts as resistance. So gap is filled. We need to clear that gap resistance to move higher there. AMD, nice push on Friday, but you can see the big sell-off at the end of the day. Amazon, we did get back above the 9 coming into Amazon Prime this week. We definitely do need to keep an eye on it. It's one thing that we do watch in the trading room because a lot of times Amazon gets front run into it. It's a sell the news event. by the way. So if it does get front run into it and you miss it, maybe you can catch some of the sell the news event. ARK has given us a nice little trading range here. You can keep an eye on that trading range. AMD still looking like a lower high. We did hold the 9 Friday, but a weekday there due to that pullback on the close. So, we had seen some strength, but all those names, pull back at the end of the day and give, some of them give more than, actually turn into low close candles. Some of them were able to hold the lows, but some of them were actually, shoved well below the opening candles, which gives us red days, red candles. So you can see AMD weekly here. The weekly did close below the weekly 9. Affirm, we have this head and shoulders pattern here. It's an upward sloping head and shoulders with a breakaway gap. So this gap down below some moving averages here, which gives us a breakaway gap. So that is some resistance there. We got to push back up through it. If we get into it, then we can look for a gap fill, but that'll act as a resistance level, waiting on this 9 to come down and help push lower. It's one's worth keeping an eye on. Amazon, you can see the sell here at the end of the day as well, but held in much better than a lot of other charts. Amazon very strong on Friday. You can see the weekly candle, red, low close candle, red candle, still under the weekly 200, so that is resistance there. Apple weekly, we have a bearish Arami there on the weekly chart as well. Boeing look a little rough here underneath the 20 in between, trading in between the 20 and 9. BTU still looks good here, trying to push up off this 50, holding the 9, looking to clear these candles. If we can clear this candle line here, looking for a pop higher. Beyond Meat, this is not one that I even like to watch or follow, just going through some charts and happened to notice it had this little trading range with a nice breakout above the 200. So back above all your daily moving averages there. This one's definitely worth watching if you're looking for a smaller cap stock. They may see some momentum coming into it. This has a huge short entrance, so if they can shake them out, this thing could make a big move. So let's keep an eye on that one this week for somebody who may be looking for a smaller stock that may be seeing some IV coming into it if it gets squeezed. Bitcoin into previous resistance here on the weekly. You can see we've talked about this. We need to clear this and move up to move up. And that's why we're trading in this very tight little flag here. Bitcoin's worth keeping an eye on, and so is all the crypto names. CVX, pretty weak there, kind of. You can see putting in another higher or lower high. XLC, this communication sector, still trading above the 9. You can see XLP turning back down. Ugly consumer staples, breaking out of this double bottom. Nice move up, put in a little base here for a move higher, and it's getting rejected up there. So you can draw a box around that, look for a trading range. Doesn't really have to be any harder than that, folks. Costco's same store sales are down. It's the first time in a while that's happened. Very large down candle here. Big move down on Friday. I would be careful with this one, trying to go short on this one. This thing's a juggernaut. They may take it seriously, but they may come right back in and buy that back up. I would just be careful going into a long-term short onto it. Catching some short trades on it's one thing, but just opening up a short and sitting into it, I don't know if that's the right stock for that. Let's just leave that one alone. DraftKings, you can draw a line right across the top of this action here. It looks like you can still hold that wick right across the top of that. So we'll do that real quick, and we can look for a breakout here again. If it's going to do it, it's starting to give us a trading range, something to set some alerts on to keep an eye on. So, and you can see right there, we still closed under that area. But if you draw this out like this, like that, and you can see your buyers are stepping in, pushing it up. So you got a seller sitting here. Your buyers are getting stronger, pushing it up, and this is forming a what? An ascending triangle. So we're looking for an ascending triangle break. Now, ascending triangle is a continuation pattern. It's actually a bullish continuation pattern. And you can see, so we're looking for a breakout here. So we'll be watching for a breakout of this ascending triangle going into tomorrow. Datadog still looks good here, putting in a little tabletop. 9 still coming up. Like to see a character change in that MACD. A decent volume on Friday. If we can take this resistance level out, you can see we got room to move up there. Lilly turned down on Friday there as well. Google holding in. Watch your daily 50 there. You can see we touched it and got a reaction. So watching using the daily 50 for support, we lose the daily 50. We could see a move down right in between your moving averages. Look for a break of your moving averages. Looks like you could draw a downtrend right across there. So looking for a break of the downtrend, clear your moving averages, and or a break to the downside below the moving averages. If we break down, watch for that gap down there. Home Depot, we broke out this bottom ascending triangle here, coming back testing. IWM, nice push up, and this is rolling over on the 15-minute. But you can see this one held in much better than a lot of these other charts. Had a very nice push. Qs, we need to put in, so we got a lower high right now. Watch this area. This is the low. We need to put in a new high. Looking like it kind of wants to trade sideways. Will we pull back again? Are we going to get a little symmetrical triangle-ish up here? Will we get ascending triangle-ish? See, give it a few days, see what it gives us. Earnings are going to help that, help move the market as well. You can see the Qs down here. We did close below the open of the candle, giving us a low close. Qs weekly, bearish Harami there as well. So we are seeing some bearishness so far. JP Morgan, this chart looks really good. Put in a nice little base here. It's kind of choppy. Looks like it's trying to move up. Momentum candle. Got your MACD, or your moving averages opening back up. Your MACDs open as well. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. Mara's got to clear this little area here. So we're looking for a candle to take out. Friday sold really hard, but still a high close candle. MACD still looks great. Decent volume coming on Friday. You can see this thing's moving on, expanding volume. That's also a great sign. Merck. So we broke out of our little L shoe pattern, pushed up. Could never really get it going here. It's ended up rolling back over. So right now we are looking like a head and shoulders pattern. This needs to be confirmed, which means we need a candle to break out of the pattern. When you're trading an upward sloping head and shoulders, you take your entry after you clear the armpit. Sometimes, you have a little bit lower to go, and you can have there could be another support level coming across this way. So you really want to wait till you break below your armpit, depending on how steep it is. Sometimes you have considerable amount of room to move before you get to the armpit. There's possible room to make money in there, but you can definitely get that reaction from some support this way as well into the armpit. So that's why we wait for a break below the armpit, no matter what the neckline tells us. Meta, 2 red days, not a lot of action going on there, still holding that 9. You can see Meta here, strong push. It sold with a really strong recovery and then sold back off at the end of the day. Microsoft still holding your 9 and 20 there as well. Chart still holding in great. That chart is no good, just a bad print. Microsoft here weekly, got a little bearish Harami there. Nvidia, so this is starting to look a little possible head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, kinda. We'll see what this does. Like I say, we could be trying to get in some kind of triangle here as well. So this is worth keeping an eye on. If we can start drawing trend lines now, you can see some tight candles in there. So there already may be a move coming. Definitely seeing some tight candles there. And you can see in the video here, great move up and then sold most of it back off at the end of the day. And kind of fearful seeing not just the markets, but the market leaders selling off like that at the end of the day with a $3 billion to sell. So on our final MOC, you can see in the video there, weekly chopping over. Looks like it's waiting on that weekly 9. NASDAQ still holding in really good up here. Like I say, could be starting to see some symmetrical triangles action here trying to put in. So we had a nice move up. It's exactly what we're doing here is we're putting in a base and we're setting up for the next move. And we don't quite know the direction of the next move yet. Netflix, same thing. Got a little flag here though. These moving averages look great. See how we act. We could just daily 9s coming up. We could push right back up and try to push. So kind of double topish up here right now. See what happens here. Right now we're getting a nice little trading range. You can just draw a box right across that. Plan A to the downside or plan B to the downside. Of course, plan A is going to be to the upside. So if it breaks out to the upside, there's your plan A. If you break to the downside, there's your plan B. Just draw a box. That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do. So we have the Qs here. Qs trading in this cup we could pull back and put in a small handle. There would be nothing wrong with that. We had a nice uptrend. We'd be pulling back to put in a higher low for setting up for a move higher. So that would just be a healthy trend if we pull back and put a handle in there. Roblex still very tight action. It needs to be broke out of. SPX looking. This is not an actual double top, but you can see looking a little heavy up here. Friday's candles ugly. We're going to talk more about that when we get to the SPY. SLB. I couldn't put everybody on here, but the whole exploration OIH SLB made a huge move. We picked up some flow on it, and one of the members tracked the options and just noticed how far they moved. That's why we got it on the radar, but we were able to catch it on Friday and present the move for anybody who was interested in trading it. But the exploration of the energy sector is made a strong move on Friday, and that move came on volume, so it's worth keeping an eye on. SoFi, possible 1, 2, 3 reversal setting up. Just a basic price action. You have a lower high, you break that, you have a lower high, you're expecting, it's a downtrend. You're expecting a move, lower high, lower low. Diamond starting the symmetrical triangle there a little bit. You can see the weekly, still holding the weekly 9. SPY weekly bearish Harami there. Same thing. SPY monthly. It's not as perfect of a cup. This is a little more V-bottomish. V-bottom's part of the cup family. Resistance up here to this previous candle line. So right now we have a monthly bearish Harami. Could pull back V-bottom, pull back part of the cup family, pull back, put in a handle for the next move up. SPY daily chart still looks really good. I mean, it's giving us a nice little trading range to work with up here. Friday's candle is not a healthy candle. This was a serious move down. There's nothing healthy about that. That can signal the next 1 to 3 days being down days. So we definitely do need to be careful with the markets. Now we're going into a Monday. What normally happens on Monday? Monday morning, market, VIX gaps up, we go in, it's a lot of premium burn, a lot of chop on Mondays, and that's just a market pattern that we know. So we're expecting chop tomorrow, not looking for big trades, we're just coming in here, pay the bills tomorrow, looking for a better trending day than what we're most likely going to get tomorrow for the bigger trades and the bigger money. So you can see the SPY here, move up. We did not fill the gap. We've moved up into this previous level here and before, which is not even the low of the day, just a previous level of the day, the previous day. We pushed up into that, found support there, found resistance there and got rejected. And you can see we are leaving a small gap to keep an eye out for tomorrow. Huge move down. That was a very ugly move at the end of the day. I cannot stress that enough. Square got jammed, nice move up, got put right back down into them, just slammed back below the moving averages. Then this piercing line candle opened up and closed pretty much at the same candle. It could almost be a bullish engulfing candle there. So above these two candles, we're bullish for a move up to that candle. Look for resistance there. Then clear that candle, we're bullish again. Shop. So we were looking for a handle move here. We're not getting it. It's looking like a lower high. This thing's going into a downtrend. Just want to point out there is a pocket down here. If we can get into that, you got a little ways to go, but there's a pocket down there where it could move a little easier. Tesla 15-minute chart, nice move up. In pre-market sold but recovered, come back, tested the previous day's highs in that same area. You can see the wick here, got rejected, selling into the end of the day with the market. XLK chart still looks decent. Possible head and shoulders though. You can draw a line. So we're starting to see some bearishness here. We need to see how this plays out. We need stronger price waves as well. So if we can get a good fresh breakout and see some strong price waves break away from here. These price waves, this was a decent wave, but this wave was not very strong, breaking back down. So you had this massive uptrend. You see how quick we moved up, how much strength you had in your price waves there. Price waves are shrinking. That's a sure sign of a trend reversal as your price wave shrinking. Tesla, you have a gap here as well, still holding outside that daily Bollinger Band, weekly Bollinger Band. Tesla daily chart. This chart looks really good here. waiting for the 9 to catch up. Looks like it wants to move higher. See what we do with the market tomorrow. Watch a bounce for that daily 9 if we pull back. Got to watch for a gap fill. So we got Uber here. Uber looking a little head and shoulders there, already trying to break down. Did push back up on Friday. All this happened with that big sell. We had this nice move up, and then the CEO come out and sell, which he's allowed to do. SMH. So we're watching SMH weekly chart. I took the weekly chart down and put the daily chart up. So you got some gaps down up here. Got this upper sloping head and shoulders pattern, but you do got some gaps up here. Now on the weekly chart, if you remember, we have a cup. So it does not need to pull back. That weekly chart does not need to pull back and put in a handle, but there's a good chance that it will. And seeing some bearishness on SMH is a good chance that this daily chart's going to pull back, let the weekly chart put in a possible handle for a move up. So we're just seeing some signs here. It's all basic price action. We're seeing plenty of signs here where the market wants to pull back. Now, the one thing that we are seeing is this market absolutely does not want to pull back. So it's just a lot of FOMO in the markets. Just need to be careful going short. If the market's really going to pull back, we're going to have plenty of room to make money. We don't have to be the first one into the trade. Wait for proper setups, get higher probabilities of winning your trades. Walmart breaking down there, closing outside of that range. That's probably moving with Costco's as well. Costco's sold. Walmart most likely sold with it. So that's probably the reason we had the big down candle on Walmart. XLF breaking out of this double bottom, pushing higher. So far, we're seeing, higher highs and higher lows. Price waves are getting a little short here on this move up, but we did put in a higher high in this trend here. See what we get off of this 9, flagging back in. You can draw a flag across that, look to trade that. TLT, ugly. We talked about the bonds pulling back. They've just been getting murdered. IWM weekly. So you can see we were down here. We had pulled all the way back. We do have a low close candle, but we pulled all the way back, and the buyers come back in at that daily 9. So there is some bullishness in that red candle there. IWM, just draw a box on it. You got a double topish area up here. You got to break below your valley for this to be a double top. But we are seeing some areas up there where we've seen some rejection. So we've seen some support here. Watch for a breakout of that box. Easy trade. Put the call ratio actually moved into the bullish zone and held there, even up with that sell at the end of the day. Oscillators for the NASDAQ, -14. For the New York Stock Exchange, +23. Plenty of room to move in either direction. And that concludes our video for today. I hope you find this helpful, and I'll see you in the trading room.